We are live with Indy's morning show After Hours, which I
It
just
sounds like we should have mood lighting in
We
here
should,
for
yeah.
after hours, but we don't.
It's almost like it's like more, but it's also like longer form, like things that we can't just sit and necessarily talk about on
Sure.
the air. So we're doing this here. If you're listening on the podcast, we do this live on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitch, on Twitter. We're everywhere. So we do this every Friday. You can join us right around 9:30 Eastern time. But today's conversation kind of stems from a conversation we had earlier with a coworker
Yes.
about his dating life and how he was on some apps. And it got us thinking about certain things because he has some deal breakers.
Well, I wonder, okay, he does have some deal breakers that you need to check with your person you're dating to make sure you align. But how early, that was my question to him, was how early do you say it? Third date, fourth date? You don't want to throw it out there first date or even first phone conversation because that would scare somebody off. But there are certain things that are, on his list and he's checking boxes.
Yeah.
So fourth date?
You're not even getting through the first date of the appetizer. And you're just like, just want to lay it out there. I want kids and I want them now.
Yeah,
like,
but
that's not okay.
Well, what if you don't?
Right.
What if you don't? And what if you start to like the person, you start to have feelings for the person, and you didn't tell him soon enough? Then you're kind of hooked.
Yeah. And there's also the other side of it too. So even if you are transparent about those things, like straight away in the conversation,
Yeah.
there are some people that kind of take that, I don't want to say necessarily as a challenge, but like maybe they'll change their mind.
Maybe
after
I
they
could
really
change
get
their
to,
mind.
Yeah, maybe. Kevin, what do you think about that? It's an interesting. Can you hear him?
I'm not hearing him.
Is
Kevin,
his
you're awfully
mic
quiet
on? Let's
today.
see if his microphone's on.
If you missed it earlier, Kevin is not feeling well.
Yeah, Kevin didn't show up to work today.
But we didn't want you to feel, the void, so we have at least a visual for you.
Yeah, so he's here with us in spirit. We know that he would love to be a part of the conversation, and maybe this is something we'll revisit as well too, because he's been married for a number of years too, and having that perspective of things that maybe you can overlook and some things
Sure.
that you just can't,
And what you should share right away.
Yeah.
What's interesting in this perspective is you're single, Kevin and I aren't.
Yeah.
So Kevin and I have never been on a dating app. Those things didn't
Yeah.
exist.
Yeah.
And so I would imagine you've experienced it.
I've done a dating app one time for
Okay.
about one day
your
about
thing.
7 years ago.
Oh,
and
no.
It was not.
Okay.
It was not my. I can't. I need to have that interaction because people are different online,
Sure.
right? They completely are, and you can't. Sometimes you might even when you send emails at work, right?
Yeah.
You get a different tone. You
Yep.
hear different things and different inflections, and really they didn't intend that at all. So it's hard for me as a person to even read people in person,
Sure.
let alone to figure it out on an app. Like,
So, okay, let's say you don't have the app,
Mhm.
but you're dating
Mhm.
and you start seeing somebody. At what point do you start to share something that's personal? That is one of your items that
Yeah.
you're looking for in somebody.
I think, in my opinion, second or third date.
Okay.
And that's because you don't want to get too far down the road. And if you're watching this on our stream, I see we've got Katana, Lacey as well. We got a bunch of people that are streaming us on Instagram. If you got an opinion on this, let us know too. How long do you wait to give these details about, hey, this is a deal breaker, if you want kids or don't want kids? And I'll use my own perspective. I kind of used it as a cop-out, right? At one point in my life where I was, I want to say probably 23
Okay,
at the
so
time.
you're still very young,
I'm still very young.
not as mature.
Dumb. I was dumb. I was just saying, I was
Okay,
an idiot.
an idiot.
And I am allergic to cats. And there was a gal who was very nice. And we're still, friends to this day in
Sure.
a way. I mean, I haven't seen her in years and years, obviously. But it was a situation where I felt like she was moving too fast. And I'm like,
I'm
scary,
allergic to cats. You've got a cat.
scary. Yeah, you got a cat. I'm allergic to cats. This ain't gonna work. And then, my most recent ex had 2 cats, and I just, medicated, and things were fine. Like, it was okay. Still wasn't the most comfortable, but
Sure.
So I think that's also a thing where if it's the right person, you're willing to be a little bit more
You
flexible.
sacrifice a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So-
What's funny? I had a cat. I'm a dog person now, but I had a cat when I was single. And when I met my current I shouldn't say current, my husband, I don't know why I said current. That was really bad. But when I met my husband, he hated cats,
Oh,
and
no.
she just didn't. And I think they pick up on that. She did
Yeah.
not take a liking to him.
Right.
So unfortunately, I ended up losing her, and then I became a dog person because you end up going with what the person wants. You know? So
I will say that usually that's what I pick up on when I'm, being allergic. I try to avoid them, and cats do sense that, and I feel like they attach to me all of the time.
Oh, wow.
And so, I'm fine with cats.
Yeah.
Like it is what it is. Some of them have attitudes, and I have a real problem with that. But
maybe Matt has the attitude. Maybe
it's
you.
Potential. It is potential that it could be me. But it's just an interesting thing that was used as a deal breaker for me. But honestly, like thinking about what other deal breakers are out there, like marriage. Some people don't even want to get married these days, right?
Yep.
Kids, how many do you want? Do you want them at all? Are you ready for them now, or do you want to wait?
What if
the other person doesn't want to wait?
That's true. Or what if you're a big traveler and the other person doesn't want to travel?
Yeah.
You got to ask those questions, but there's a window. I think it's too. You could do it too soon, and then you could wait way too late, and then all of a sudden you're invested, and then that's a problem.
Yeah. Speaking of invested, invests. Brad just called you out, Deb, as we're streaming this live.
What'd I say?
He says, "Hey, y'all. Deb's sporting the sleeveless vest.
No,
yes!
no,
Sleeveless Friday.
no. I have something on underneath.
Let's go.
No, I have something on underneath.
Yes.
You are wrong.
Yes.
You are wrong.
Oh,
Brad is totally wrong. Not going to buy it. No.
It's great. Because actually Blake did call me out too, asking where's my sleeveless. So, but you're in it.
Well,
you're in it.
You haven't worn that all morning.
No, I've had this on underneath my zip up. Yeah,
but you don't usually do that.
No,
you usually brave it and you show your arms.
Just so busy, I think.
Oh, yeah.
It's just,
the guns were hidden all morning.
They were. I didn't wait for the grand reveal like this. Real quick too.
Whoa. I'm just now seeing, because the camera's blocking me, I'm just now seeing what your shirt says.
Yes.
Where did that come from?
Actually, Blake that commented asking me where my sleeveless was, he made the shirt. He had a friend make the shirt.
Did you know Blake before?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, my gosh. Blake, you're creating a monster. Please help us.
This is great. Enabler. That's all you are, Blake, and I'm okay with that.
Oh, my goodness.
Katie here on Instagram says, I'm on the dating app right now. I've had guys stand me up or ghosted me. And I feel like
that's not good.
I'm kind of concerned in a way, and just in the sense that that's obviously not a good thing. If you're not interested, just say it. Be honest, straightforward.
But some people don't know how to do that, and they don't want to hurt feelings.
Absolutely.
But then that does hurt feelings.
You're pushing it off, right? Eventually, it's going to happen anyways, and once you get spending more time and attach more, it's going to hurt worse.
Sure.
So, but my concern is, I don't know, Katie, in the dating app, are you sitting there saying these things like, I want kids and I want them now within the year, or whatever these deal breakers are? Is that something that you acknowledge straight away in the dating app?
That might scare them off.
Or do you just do like shallow talk of like, oh, I really like traveling, I really like this, I really like that, let's go meet up in person, have a date, and then you wait a couple dates to reveal that information?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not a dating app person.
It doesn't surprise me that you're not. I always said Matt was pretty authentic, and not that people who are on it aren't.
Yeah.
But I can see how you would want to do actual conversation in person.
Yeah.
And not make it so much easier. You would probably want to do the hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you can see a lot just in reaction, right? And when you say things and sense of humor, and there's like all of these things that line up that have to be right. And there's some red flags that you see in person.
Sure.
Joe on Instagram says that one big red flag is of me is that I like Green Bay. And so this is Joe.
He's got more than one.
Yeah,
by the way.
there's a lot of red flags. Sorry, Green Bay. Really funny. Thank you for that, Joe. And Jen also says, there's the guns. She was ready for Sleeveless Friday. Christy loves it as well here on our Facebook stream. So I love that as well. Blake also has that same red flag, which happens to be green and gold. So there you go. What would be, let's put yourself in your hypothetical situation where before you were married.
Yeah.
What was that deal breaker for you where you're like, this is what ended a relationship for me?
Deal breaker?
Yeah, where you're just like, I can't get past that.
You're not supposed to cheat. That's the deal breaker. That would be number one.
That's weird.
Another one would be, though, if I was starting all over, I'd have to look for somebody who was close with their family.
Okay.
I'm close with my family.
Yeah.
So, and I will say that was something that Greg didn't really understand at first. He was like, you guys get together for everything, and so, That was an adjustment, but it would be for someone who maybe didn't get together as often.
Yeah.
So
Raised a little differently, maybe, or
yeah,
family scattered a little bit further
that's right.
out. When you say, the relationship with family, how close a family, like, is it like if they have siblings, they're really close with them, or they have to be really close with their parents?
I would like them to be close. Oh, I would like them to be close with parents,
Okay.
and yeah, and I'm close with my siblings,
Yeah.
so and understand the need for getting together for family dinners. I don't mean every Sunday, but I think it's important.
I think it's fun to have the traditions, right?
Yeah, the big extended family. I mean, that's we're all about traditions. But he grew to love it. It just took some time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I think that was a pretty good conversation in regard to, those deal breakers and how long. But I landed on, I would say 3 dates.
Okay, 3 dates.
3 dates.
Okay, now it's hard for me to say this because I'm not single, but I would say maybe 4 or 5.
4 or 5.
You don't want to scare them off too soon.
Yeah.
But what would be the one thing you're going to have to like reveal something about
Oh,
yourself
man.
that you're weird about?
Ooh,
That is a non-negotiable for you.
everything.
Non-negotiable in a relationship.
Being rude. I think that's really
Being
what it
rude.
is. Yeah, just being rude
Okay.
and negative. I'm not a negative. I mean, there's certain things obviously where everybody can get down
Sure.
and whatever and complain, and everybody has that. But at least having some kind of a silver lining and looking at the light and looking at the brighter things, because my buddy Brad, who again acknowledged your sleeveless Fridayness today, he
Brad.
and I.
That's not what this was.
As
Don't
supporters,
even think about it.
as supporters of St. Jude, much like you are, Deb, and much like all of us are, we realize there are certain things in the world that are just out of our control and that we just can't have and whatever. But at least we're not going through significant difficulties like the parents at St. Jude and the kids. Like, so
That's right.
it's a perspective thing. So not to turn this into a more somber type conversation, but anybody that can't get out of their own way and just be stuck in that negative place, when really in reality, it's not that bad. It really is not.
You're referring to the whole being rude that you're not
Yeah,
negotiable.
being rude.
Mine's a
and
little
just
more
being grumpy.
lighthearted.
Okay, yes.
Mine
what's
was
yours?
you have to eat cake. Cake and dessert.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna need. I got a sweet tooth, so I'm gonna need someone to. You'd have to share that with me.
That's the
so that's what that was important.
the saying that I love is life is always uncertain.
Yes,
Eat dessert first.
that's right.
Right?
I do eat dessert
Yeah.
first. Sometimes I'll have dessert over a steak.
Yeah. Kevin, what about you? Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate that,
I
buddy.
almost spit out my.
I know. I waited until you took a sip
Thank
before. You're very, very welcome. I just want to look here really quick. Katana also says, I haven't used a dating app. I met mine at high school with a kid and been on the Maury show twice.
Oh
What?
wow! Oh, I want video of that.
What? Yes. What episode? Where can we find that?
That
Send us
was
the link.
dramatic.
And she says, he didn't have a kid. I had a kid with him. Gotcha. Okay. That's interesting.
okay.
Was that like the you are the father? Was that one of those situations?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Katana?
I hope not.
Man. And
hope
Brad
not.
says to Katana, what? No way. You've opened up a whole new possible conversation topic. Moments in the spotlight like being on a TV show. Brad, have you ever done radio? Because I know you have.
Have you ever been on a TV show?
Yeah, I have not been on a TV show. I've been like a backup person in movies. But
you have?
Yeah, like 2 of them. They were independent. They were like
they don't
major
call them
motion.
backup persons. They
I
call
don't know
them,
what they call them.
They call it extras.
Extras.
But we appreciate your effort.
Yeah. That's why I wasn't cast in a main role.
Oh well, do you have video of it?
Yeah, you can see it. There's different highlights, and again, these are like indie films. They weren't
Okay.
like you
Brad
couldn't
Pitt
go to
film.
the movie theater and see them. But
All right. I was on Hollywood Squares once.
were you really? Oh, I
Yeah,
want to
it
watch
was
that.
Mother's Day special, and so we were all pregnant. That was lovely.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to watch that now.
Talk about random topic change.
I've got a lot of TV to watch this weekend, apparently. Awesome. Well, I appreciate y'all joining us here again for our Indy's Morning Show After Hours podcast. And we have Katie who just chimed in here. Red flag for me is the guy that lies where he works or if he has a job. Absolutely. That's good. Comment below with your red flags as well if you'd like.
What about you, Kev?
Me too, dude. Yeah. All right. We will see y'all later, and we'll see you next week, hopefully.
Yeah.
Bye.
Hopefully.
Yes, we will see you next
We
week.
will see you next
As long
week.
as you're here. We're going to be here. You should be too.
Goodbye.
Bye.